What's up, man? Welcome to episode 2 of graphic content with some tips for the community. So what's up, Chris? How you doing, man? How was your week?
Not too bad. Just working and such, but uh, you know, taking it easy for the moment, and always looking for the good deals to try to get them books I want.
So I see somebody's talking about my poll. It needs a no. It's you only have two answers: yes or no. But you don't have to answer the poll yet for slab or not to slab till like midway point of the show. Like I said, we're gonna go for about an hour. Shout out to Elite Comics 11. They have a virtual convention going on. Big supporters of me on IG, and hopefully the supporters of our channel, stuff we do here on this show. So, but yeah, definitely shout them out. The 5 days of visually convention, and I think they did it at a good time because I don't think they have really any cons this weekend. If I know of any, next weekend I know they have stuff, but not this weekend. But check it out. 5 days. They'll be going late night on some days. But yeah, that's on that end. But what were we talking about today? We got a couple of things talking Mando Lorian, but we're gonna say that the second part that we don't might get into spoilers and stuff. We're only talking about episode 1, so we're gonna spoil the hell out of episode 1 because that happened over a week ago. But this is a thing that somebody we know in the community has brought up before. Other people have asked that question: how do you get books off your wish or slash want list when people make them? I mean, there's many different things uh, that you can use for as getting stuff off your list, but we're gonna talk about things that we kind of use, kind of tips that we have. We might not give all the secrets, but we're gonna just give just a tip. And that's shout out to the guys on Sands and Tony Sanders and stuff. So, but yeah. And congrats to Sands before we get into it, hitting 1,000 subscribers. Congrats, he's been working hard. So very congratulations. They have wine and cheese in about I would say 30 minutes. So definitely check it out. Um, open up 2 tabs. Let's say by that time we'll be talking Mando stuff. You might not want to hear spoilers. So that's all. I say shout out the chat really quickly. We had Liz Barnes in the house. I know you remember this guy, Bruce
Oh
Zayas.
yeah, I was going to say we got an old school coming back,
Yeah,
Bruce.
Bruce Zayas. Uh, Biggie Shaq is in the house. K-pop, what's going on, K-pop? Nice for stopping through. So please hit that thumbs up button and stuff like that. So, um, I'll mention a couple of things that how I get books off my want list, off my wish list. I put that on there because some people say it's a wish list when they have bigger books on there, but it ultimately is really a want list. It's ultimately a want list, and how I try to tackle that, I look at books that I probably can sell to fund that list. That's one of the things I do. I try not to touch personal money as much or if any. So that's one little thing that I do when I'm looking at a list and I'm working on it. I look at the numbers. I like numbers and I look like at the math. So I look at that end of it, and then that's how I'll tackle the money side of it. If people are wondering, it's you try to make the what do you say? Make the collection pay for itself, or make your books pay for itself, stuff like that.
Yes,
So,
which I'm failing at miserably, but that's okay.
yeah. I'm not doing too well right now, but because people have slowed down in buying. Um, but that's one way I tackle it. But if you even go before that, talking about books on your list, when I make a list, I look at books that I'm really after. Some of them might be like dream books. Um, but some of books are in that on my wheelhouse. It might be a few
Yeah,
$100 raw, or it might be, you know, put out. I'll just say this in the wheelhouse. I can get them, even if I saved up for a couple months, or even a year. I can get books on that list. So, and then I look at characters I like, you know, titles that I'm after and stuff like that. So that's how I work, do my list. Um, we'll probably go over. I don't have my list queued up. I could probably show it on IG, but people can look at my IG and see it. But that's some of the that's some of the stuff. You can say some stuff because they putting jokes
Oh
in the
no,
chat.
no. Like Bruce's comment killed me. That was funny. I mean, Liz's comment was funny too.
Yeah.
But Bruce is like he sells his body for comics. Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. So for me, yes, like who that I have touched personal money just because that's how I get my books. Unfortunately, I haven't really done too much selling. But I mean, it's something where you kind of have to just look at it from the point of view of that, what's what's your avenue going to be. Maybe you go this route, that route. But the first thing I do is I stop by making this wonderful list. So this is a big list. It's a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of just big books on there that this couldn't possibly happen
I saw it. I
and in
saw it.
1 year. It's just trust me. Like, if this was to happen in 1 year, literally I'd be sleeping on comic boxes out in the street because there's no way. It's too much money. But what I do, or what I basically look at is books, like you said, books that I want to get. Stuff, whether it's like for a run that I want to collect, whether it's for just keys I've always wanted. Sometimes it's just something rare that just you don't see that often. That's like, oh, let's see if it's cheap today or whatever. And then the next thing the thing that I actually started doing this year more than other years is I mean, a lot of people will write stuff down. I actually made a spreadsheet because I'm just like looking at it where it's like, all right, if I'm gonna try to do this and not overpay, or at least get a good sense of what something should cost, I figured, go out and do the market research just like a business would. So, I made a spreadsheet. I can show that if just a, quick glimpse of it just to show you what's going on there. Um,
It's up to
I,
you if you want to show it. You know,
I
people
don't
will
mind.
be they'll be
I
like
don't
trying
mind.
to
It's
take
definitely,
screenshots.
yeah. No, no, no. I mean, hey, look, if you are able to do that, go right ahead, But let me go ahead and see. So I'm sharing because I think since you're the there we go. All right. So this is what I'll show you. So this is what I did. I went to Excel and I put down all the titles of books that I wanted to get, and then the grades I'm looking for. So and then my desired price range. Now this price range may not be accurate. There's some stuff that falls into it, and I'm showing you. This is like when I first started this in January. So just an example, like the first book here. It's just like you know looking at the grades I have. So I went on GPA and I look at the sales, or at the time the most recent sales for that book. So in terms of my price range here, for 4 or better, as far as January was concerned, for that Spider-Man 39, 4.0 is in the price range. You know what I mean? 150 to 320, 4.5, and then 5.0. So basically, I know that within that, if I was trying to get a graded one, that I could probably get, I could get any of those at that point in time for that price, based on those sales. And then me personally, I'm looking for, uh, try to look for like raws, unless it's something that like I know that I'm going to try to get into. That going the graded route is the best way to do it. But just to give you an idea, I mean, it gets there's a lot of information. So it's, you have that, then tracking like raw sales, from eBay, price range, see if there's anything in there, the buy it now price range and stuff like that. So, and then just like, if it's at different shops that I know of, and things like that. So you just kind of looking all these different avenues. And then, you know, as we went into February, you have different information. So February, what happened? Everything stayed mostly the same. You know what I mean? And then I was looking, there was, a couple that were, I guess I would say in the price range, and you can look at different stuff. And then, go further into March. And so I've started looking at stuff, and I started looking at Go Collect. So I was like, oh yeah, Go Collect. That's another place to look. So, just to get the sales there and kind of look at
Yeah.
different things. So, and there's some variation with different things, but I mean, for the most part, it's just like, it's just all these different avenues to look at, and not to sound um snobby or super nerdy or anything like that, but just in general, it's just like, if you're gonna do it, the way I see it is that you can. I mean, especially if you're going after expensive books, I think it's good to do it that way, so
Hmm.
that you can kind of figure out where it is that you want to be within price ranges, so that you're not going too
Yeah,
high. Just
yeah,
because I think
because
a
you know,
lot
yeah,
of that,
you don't know what grades to kind of shoot for, and then it's in
mhm,
that price range. That is a good point because it could change. The books could drop, and you could get
yeah,
a higher. It could be a higher grade,
yep,
or vice versa. Books can go up, and it has to be a lower grade. So
yep,
that is a good point to keep track of. Like you said, GPA, Go Collect, and
yep,
eBay, probably the
yeah.
three main
Just look at
ones
the recent sales.
that I know I use. I think Chris uses as well. So it's like
Yeah,
those kind of keep you online to follow your list, and I wouldn't rank them, but it's good to kind of like rank your priority on them.
yeah,
That's how as far as rank them. I'm trying to say like the best one or the least favorite one, but like on your priority, if you
yeah,
collect if you're a big Spider-Man guy, and you say like he had the ASM 39 was on the list, but you
hmm,
also had like Black Panther, other stuff.
yeah, bunch of
Spider-Man
stuff.
would be the one you want to be on the top because that's what you ultimately collect. That's like with me with TMNT. If there's a TMNT book that I don't have, that would definitely be on the list.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's
that
just
and I think too, when it comes to another thing is just that, depending on, like, with priority too, it's just like, if you look at different books, and just a lot of where some hype exists, where it doesn't. It's just like, like I can say that, like, I have some Silver Surfer books on there too, and it's just like, the toughest part is that, like, trying to see if you can hit those windows before hype just kicks them down, just because that's all it takes for some of these books to just go right at a price range. So sometimes it's like, all right, I need to, like, where I focus on is like, it's not like anything where, like, I just did the list alphabetically, but like sometimes it's just like, what's the top book on that, the one that I think that I probably should have to get this year, or I can't get it all, or if it's like, if I can only get one book off of this list, which one is it, and then save, get that, and then just work from the rest, just because it's. I think that one of the things that people tend to do is get caught up. I mean, and it's a good thing to try to prioritize and everything. I think that some people get caught up in it, thinking that it's like a competition. Like, oh, like you see,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
where it's like, I got all these awesome, but I got to keep up with this guy. It's just like, well, that person has a different situation than you, and maybe they have better money, or whatever's going on. It's just like, so you just go at your own pace. Figure out the things. If you go and get one book off your list, fine. If you can't get any, that's fine too. It's just like, you just kind of look at where everything kind of fits in with you. So that's the best thing I
yeah,
can say as far as
yeah.
advice.
Definitely go on your own pace. Don't overextend yourself. If you make like a 10 book list, and say you're like only on the process of getting 2 or 3 books in the year, that's
Hmm.
still perfectly fine. That doesn't mean you have to make a whole new list with 10 new books. You just add those books you didn't get, and then add new books that's on the list.
Yeah.
Um, I, other things that I like to do is and I like to post stuff on IG. Like when you see people put my want list for whatever year. Um, that's also a good tip because the comic community is huge. When
Yep.
you put those hashtags, you put all those different things in there. Um, it could help you put the word. It's like almost like putting the word out, and people uh, be on the lookout for those books, and they might message you on for those type of books. That's always great to it helps out a lot for the community because you can end up getting good deals, um, and people can say, "Hey, man," or people might say, "Hey, my LCS has it at this price," So I
Yeah.
like using that, but basically, like I said, it's just putting the word out and the things that you're looking for, and but
Hmm.
also try to be like Chris showed his Excel. Be specific when you're looking like with your grades and the range and stuff like that because then that
Yeah.
knows what people know what you're looking for as far as price wise too. So I'm just reading some of the stuff. What's up, J Hood? People talking amongst themselves. Liz says thumbs up. Appreciate you, Liz. Liz always supports everybody's stuff, so definitely. Uh, he said, "Hey guys, y'all know how I voted. I'm guessing you voted not to slab, and you didn't even see the book." He said, and then he goes, "I only buy grills when I come across money."
Yeah, I mean that's the
It,
way to do it.
you come across money, save money. It's whatever, payment plans. That's another way to get books off your list too. Uh,
Yeah,
you'd be surprised how many dealers or sellers or just people in general would don't mind payment plans, um, especially if you do a down
yep,
payment. So that's another way that can help you get stuff off your list is a payment plan, because
yep.
a book that you think it's not affordable, you'd be like, oh man, I can't afford this $500 book. But could you afford $500 in 30 days?
Hmm. Well,
Or could you afford it in 3 months? Like who, like
yep,
it's different thing. I don't know, what somebody would sell it at, but it's different things
yeah,
that they could put out there. What's up, Captain Comments and Cali Comics in the house?
yep. Got Matt Seitz also. Matt Seitz is in the Cordova Comics. Who else I see? Hawaiian Punch. Hawaiian Punch actually made a good comment, saying that he doesn't, he's never thought about making a list, but just because it never pans out. Usually makes commitments on what he's gonna get, and I
Mm,
mean, I say like this. It's something. The way I look at it is, I think some people look at it in different ways. So some people will look at it like, if I didn't get everything on the list, then I messed up. If I bought it, if I just kind of veered off,
yeah,
and I think it's more for me. Like I started doing it just because it just kept me focused on stuff. Just because it was so like there's a ton of books out there, and people want a lot of different stuff, and it's just like if you just scroll eBay. I mean, at least this is what happened with me. If you just scroll eBay and then just kind of look up stuff, you will find 8 billion different books that are out there, and then your attention gets diverted too many different ways. So it's just like I just made this list. Okay, I want to try to see if I can get these books here, and then look back and see what type of stuff's going on, and then kind of come back to it. But the thing that who that was saying, that was actually about like the payment plans and stuff like that. Don't be afraid also too. I mean, outside of just sales and hit, don't be afraid to ask LCSs that too, because I know a couple of shops that are in my area that do payment plans. They have
hmm
they have their own structures and everything like that. But like um, sometimes your shop is willing to work with you, and it's like, yeah, like if you can come in and just
yeah,
drop, especially if it's a place you go a lot.
yeah. I'm gonna say if you're regular at, yeah,
Yeah, like it's just like just as to give you the terms, like all right, we need 25% down, and we'll give you 2 months to pay it off. Just come in once a week and make this payment, and it's just all right, So I mean, there's a lot of different avenues to get books, and a lot of times too, it's like sometimes the price tag is intimidating. Like I can tell you,
hmm
my shop had Tomb of Dracula 10, which is on my list, but it was way too much. It's just like even with the payment plan and stuff, it's just like I'd have to save up a little bit first and then go in and say, okay, let me. And by the time I get in there to actually go ahead and do it, I'm sure someone's probably already snagged that book. But it's just the way
yeah,
it is. It's just, but
yeah,
the thing too is
and,
just that
and,
book keep coming around. So
yeah, and like I know what punches so because actually somebody did a video talking about I guess kind of like trying to tell people don't do like a want list,
yeah,
and which I don't agree with. I don't agree with not doing it. Um, but I actually want people to do want lists or wish lists, but I want people to don't feel like they have to be committed to stick to the list.
yeah,
Like
it's just a
you may,
guideline, really.
it's a guideline. It's something that you can what you're kind of looking for. Like I said, to put like especially you put it on social media, it kind of puts the word out to people. You know what you're looking for, but it's as long as you don't take away, you like, oh, I got to stick to this list. I think you'll be fine
Yeah,
because I've I'll do it whenever I do lists. I never get every book off the list, and I don't stick to them all the time. I might get one or two off the list, and then I buy other stuff because I got good deals on them. So it's like I would never tell you don't pass up a good deal because you have to focus on the list. So that that's one thing. Oh, and Biggie makes a good point. Don't be afraid to sell some keys. That is true. Don't be afraid to sell books that don't mean as much to you as the book you're going after.
Yeah.
And like me being a Turtles collector, I'm not gonna be afraid to sell an Avengers book or an X-Men book to get a TMNT. I mean,
Yeah.
if I was, I would have never got my TMNT first print because that's basically what I did. I sold the AF-15 1.0 that was hanging on with tape, you know, and I ended up getting a 9.0 for the TMNT. So that's
Yeah.
just Knights of Old is this sell everything small, easy to replace for big dream books.
Yeah.
That is true because like I mean I'm trying to think of like a good point like well TMNT first print is a great point to
Yeah.
say. That's a book, dream book, big book. Don't they only made 3,000 of them. An AF-15, they have more than 3,000 graded.
Yeah.
I forgot. It's like a high number, but it's like, and then you see those on every show, every convention you go to, you're gonna at least see one of them. If they have
Yeah.
comic books there, you're gonna see the TMNT one first print. You can probably go to a whole convention. You can go conventions a whole year and might not see one.
Yeah. I mean, it's always, yeah. I mean, and the thing too, like I'll tell you a book. I'll tell you a book that I mean, I it would take a lot to sell and get this, but like I can tell you, I've never seen it at a convention ever, and that's Albedo number two.
Oh
Like
yeah, that's
because
like the
everybody
TMNT
who has
first print.
that,
Yeah,
yeah, the first Usagi, everybody who has that is not selling it. Like I mean, I don't know if they are. They're on eBay trying to get a mint for it, just because it's one of those big books from the I would say what like early bronze, sorry, late bronze, early copper age. But it's just like
mm-hmm.
it's one of those deals where it's just like if you really want that book, you can find it. It's just what are you gonna have to do to get it? And sometimes if you have a bunch of stuff that doesn't mean much to you, or even if you do have stuff, I'll say this much, just because this is one thing I started doing, and it took me a little bit, and it was not easy, I'll say, but sell like if you have doubles of books, like if you can, I mean, it's great to sit there and make a
I've
multiple
told I've told
Monday,
I've told him.
and it's like and you sit there and just pull out like three, four, especially if you can pull out. I'll say this much: if you can pull, if someone asks you if you have a specific book and it is a key, and you can pull like three or four of them out, and you're crying about like, oh, I really wish I could have this book. Well, if you're sitting on three Amazing Spider-Man 300, sell one of them, man. Like you know what I mean? It's just like that's the way I look at it. Where it's just like, it's great to be able to show off and be like, yeah, I have this. But on the other hand, though, like if
Yeah,
you if you don't, I mean, there's reasons to keep doubles of things, but there's also reasons to get rid of some stuff. And one of the
yeah,
big ones is
doubles or
because
triples. Like I know
yeah.
what you say. Like I had triples a lot of TMNT stuff, and I
Mhm.
slowly got rid of the triples went to doubles, and then I was like, why I got these doubles for?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is what it is. Oh, no problem, Liz. I know how it is. Man. I know how it is. Go. He said Mac is a 7. He'll be fine. Trust me. He'll ramble. They got at least another 10 minutes before they talk about anything. But yeah, it's just funny how that works out though. Like, cause
Yeah.
yeah,
Like I could tell you right now, like there's, I mean, and even just filler books, because people love a deal, and there's a lot of stuff that people will buy for cheap, just because like, oh, you're having a $1, $2, $3 sale. People love those. The problem that I have, my biggest fear with doing one of those is that I'm gonna have, and sell a lot of stuff to a lot of different people, and it's just like, okay, now I have to ship all this out, and I'm shipping out 84 different packages to 37 different people. It's just like so that can be kind of tough too, but you know but that's something too. Like if you have a bunch of stuff, like whatever you don't care about and you don't mind moving, just do it if you can.
yeah,
um
yeah. It's hard to do that if you're a collector in general. Like every
mhm,
collector has that issue, even people who's like, oh, I don't have that issue. But if you are a collector, I still go over that, and I sell a lot more than probably anybody in the chat. But it's hard to do. But when you kind of know, like, all right, if I'm selling this, I'm putting the money towards this, and that's basically what I'm doing. I have that. I do that a lot, and I know my goal at the end is for this other book. It makes it a little bit easier, but it's always hard. I'm not even gonna lie, So I know if it's hard for me and I sell a lot more, it's definitely gonna be hard for people who don't sell at all. He
Yep.
who remains channel member, he says, new fam, I hope everyone is warm and safe. And it's crazy. It was 80 something degrees here. So in
Yeah, it
Louisiana.
was I want to say high 40s today, which we've had a really mild winter, which and I know a lot of people are like, we're gonna have drought and this. I don't care. I don't want snow. So yeah, I will take as mild as possible.
What's up, Mr. Collector? So I don't know if anybody has any questions about how to get books off your want list, or what do you have your ideas are.
Trying to move.
Uh we have somebody who would be entered, but he just bought a big book and he's saving
Yeah.
for an X-Men one. So him getting an X-Men, he's gonna get an X-Men one, but
Yep.
it probably be next year. So I know you don't want to hold a book like that for that long, but I know
Yeah.
somebody who would definitely buy it probably next year, literally a year from now.
Yep.
Uh, but here we're gonna transit. We're gonna talk a little bit about Mando, because I want to keep this show for an hour, and if you guys like the start time, let us know, or if you think we should start it off maybe a few minutes earlier, because I know us and Sands are kind of running over each other, and so that's just a thought. Maybe 30 minutes started at 8 Eastern. If you guys think that'll work, and then kind of y'all can just transition right into Sands' thing, because I think I want to give you guys both opportunity to watch both shows. What he says, you got a question? What are your thoughts? Yeah, we got we're gonna do that in 2 weeks. I don't want to talk about that. That's how I feel about it. We'll talk about it in 2 weeks. Because I don't want that type of stuff. When you get that information, my I don't want to say what I'm thinking, so that's why I have to wait. I have to wait.
Yeah, it's good to always kind of look at it and basically give time for it, because the initial shock value sets in, so people instant knee jerk reaction, and then you gotta sit there and try to. So
Yeah.
it's just like we'll do that one next time, and then kind of figure out
And
get
talk
more
and talk
information
about
of what exactly
yeah.
is going on.
We'll probably talk a mixture about just to let you guys know, we'll probably talk about that. Definitely gives us enough time to like really read about it, think about it, and I believe because we're just doing one episode of Mando, but they're gonna have a lot of stuff coming out in the next 2 weeks.
Yep.
So next second part of the show might be talking more about Mandalorian, because it'll be like 3 episodes down, more or 3 more episodes down,
Yep.
and I know they got other stuff that me and Chris probably gonna see in movie wise or dropping on Netflix or something.
Yeah.
So it'd probably be a mixture of pop media stuff. What's up, Sunday Da Vinci in the house? But I had a question of the slab or not the slab. This is the old school way that me, Tony Sanders, Jeffrey Comic Con. I'm trying to think who else was on there. I know it was us three, and we did like basically a whole show, and we would grab like a whole bunch of books. Actually, it wasn't just like one book. But I figured me and Chris might bring one book each. I know he has a great big old collection. I have a lot of raw books that I'm slowly getting graded, but I have questions about some. So I figured, hey, let's bring it back, one book each, put it in a poll. You can leave comments too if you watch this on a rewind, or you can leave comments in the chat right now. So the book I chose to show you all guys things off. This is one that I'm kind of on the fence about. So I'm just going to show it and then tell you the history about it. So Lobo number two. So Lobo is that character. First African American to lead his own comic. The Lobo 1 is the key one, but Lobo 2 is rarer than Lobo 1. Harder to come by. If you could find it, yeah, congratulations. If you can find it raw, even better, which that's what happened with me. I couldn't find it raw. I don't have to have it slab, but it's in that grade, that 4 to 5.0, that I'm kind of like probably should slab it just to protect it. And it'll go along with my other Lobo, and if it did come back and forward, it would be a matching pair. But uh, and another reason I'm thinking about slabbing it is because the bottom staple is pop.
Mm.
So that's why, so it's not really safe for me to take it out multiple times and flip through it and show it off. So this is the book that I'm bringing out for slab or not to slab. You guys in chat could let me know what you guys think. Should I slab it? Should I not slab it? I'm gonna do the poll a lot better. That's my first poll ever doing on my channel, so I'll do it a lot better next time because I could do, slab or not the slab and do like different and then do options and stuff like that. So I'll figure out. That was my first time just typing it up, and I think Liz kind of gave me a point. You should put a maybe option. I didn't even think about it. So
Yeah.
someday said slab. He said he remains a slabber with CBCS. If I did CBCS, it would be it would be like the fast track. It would be expensive. So I might as well just send it to CGC. But if anybody knows, like I said, knows this book, super hard to come by, super hard to get. And so I see Biggie saying slab. So I'll just call it at that. You guys say slab. We got Candyman's sports cars and collectibles. What's going on? Appreciate you, sir, or ma'am, or please. I don't know if you're subbed up, but thank you for stopping through. If you are subbed up, and hit that thumbs up for the video. So appreciate you stopping through. I'm gonna make this. He said Biggie said it's the first time he actually saw it. I showed it on your channel like a week ago, 2 weeks ago. I don't know. It was a while ago. So that was my book. If you guys have comment about the Lobo, like I said, not easy book to come by in any grade. And like I said, I'm kind of concerned about this. Want to make sure it doesn't get any more damage because of the bottom staple and stuff like that. So that was my thoughts on bringing it. So you might see some books that are easy to say slab. I thought this was kind of like a mix. I thought it was kind of mixed because, but yeah, he said, my man Reggie collects both on his wall, but he who remains, I had the Lobo one first. He did. He had Lobo 2 before me, but I had the Lobo 1 first. I got receipts. Well, actually, Doc has receipts, but and Biggie knows that. Oh, it's Al. What's up, Al? Now I didn't know that
Oh
was
yeah, that's
Al.
right.
Oh, I didn't know Al was Al's on the channel. What's up? What's up, Al? And he who remains. A lot of those bigger channels follow those smaller channels and copy the stuff they do. Just saying. Not saying he does it, but a lot of them do. Chris, what you got? You got a book that you was thinking about? Chris, now Chris doesn't slab very often. I'll just put it like that. He is a novice. I was saying a slabbing.
Yes.
Yes, not in collecting books or raw books, but it's a novice in slabbing because he doesn't do it often. So I do it more so. So that's why I thought this would be kind of a cool little mix.
Yeah.
So
I broke the rule. I actually have 2 books.
But broke the rule on the first time we're doing it.
Yep. So, I'll do the first one. I think is a little bit tougher of a decision, or maybe not. I don't know. But so you have here this Mega Man #1's Dreamwave, and it's a foil variant, and it's hard to find. It's actually a pretty expensive book, raw, just because it's not easy to find. Like if you find one in the dollar bin or somewhere just kind of chilling back, it's pretty good. Definitely buy this book. I would say just because it's tough to come by. But I know a lot of people kind of look at things and say, well, if it's rare, it's not like like unless you're like a huge Mega Man fan or like video games, some people might not slap it, some people may. I think for me, it's high grade. I don't know if it's necessarily. It may not be like a 9.8, and I don't know what this foil cover, if you could even press it, even if it wasn't. I would say this is probably a strong 9.4 to 9.6 ish, maybe 9.8, depending on what's going on. So I would say just because of it being rare, I would slab it. That's just my opinion. But what do you guys think? If you had this book, would you slab it or would you not?
I just put a new poll up. I ended my poll. I ended the first poll. So I put a new poll up. I said slab or not to slab, Chris Book, yes, no, maybe. So there you go. There you go. So I put a new poll up. If you guys want to just vote that way, you can also type it in, but you can vote that way.
Yep.
And like you said, that Mega Man's not that's all like it. I would say it's like on that verge of hard to get like logo, but it's a
Yeah.
modern book.
It's definitely different. It's not so like I would say, definitely not something as hot as that. It's just one of those things
Yeah,
where it's like you just don't see it often, and I think a lot of people like a lot of people wouldn't know to look for this. So it's just like they might just see it, pass it by, and just go. But it's just like yeah, it's one of those I would say dollar bin treasures that people just don't really realize is it just if you I'm telling you if you see a Mega Man book, it's just shining at you, and it's and it has the Dreamwave because they do another one. It was a different company, but if you see the DW, to pick it up.
that's an honest answer from Murph, man. I would pass
Oh
on
yeah,
that book
no,
because I'm
Murph
ignorant
is
to Mega Man. What's
no
up,
no.
Murph, man? I
So
haven't done a show with Murph on auctioning for a long time.
yeah, me and Murph are gonna head down to
Oh, he
um
remains put some info. I don't know. I think
yeah,
he's talking about your book. He says only 40 on the
yep
census. He said
yep.
slab.
So me and Murph are heading down to King Con in a couple weeks. It's gonna be a great time. Looking forward to
Let's see what
that.
the poll says. The poll is actually, even though Murph said no, he didn't. I don't think he voted yet because the poll's 75% yes, 25% maybe, 0% no.
There you go. See, Murph's a big Spider-Man guy,
Oh,
and
if that had been Mega Man with Spider Man, he would have definitely just slapped it. He was like slap it. Hey, but Murphy, this cover's falling off. I don't care. It's Spider Man.
wow. So that'll lead me to my next book. That
And he
I'll put
did
up
two
there.
books. He cheated, so just let you guys
Yeah.
know.
So my next book, maybe Murph will appreciate a lot more. But so we have here,
Ooh,
Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man number 64. Yeah.
yeah.
The first Cloak and Dagger. So this is actually in really really good shape, and I would say I think this is probably an 8.5 to 9.0. So you know for all the
He said, of course, he had an extra. And look, Murph he didn't even ask what the condition was. Slap that baby. What's up? What's up? Take the time collectibles. That is
Hey, Brian,
Brian.
what's going on, man?
Take the time collectibles in the house. I think I sold Brian an ASM book. Speaking of ASM, I think that was him.
Brian's the man.
Uh,
That's one thing I would say to people too, especially like if you are familiar with Take the Time and you have any sort of questions about books and things like that, he is a great resource. Talk to Take the Time. He knows his books and he definitely is just a great resource
so
in the
let's get
community.
you got some. We got more people watching. Get some more votes in, man. Get some more votes in. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, it was the ASM 194. Remember that nine? What was it? 9.2?
Yes, I remember that now.
Yeah, yeah. He came out of nowhere. Like when I was like selling it, he messaged me. He's like, "Yep, I'm gonna take that." I said, "Okay."
Yeah.
So hey, y'all let us in the chat. Only Murph said slab it. I'll tell you what my vote is. If I had to choose, since you put two books, if I had to choose between,
Yep.
I'm gonna do it that way. If I had to choose between one or the other,
Hmm.
I'm gonna go with the Cloak and Dagger. If you like you said, it was high grade, so I'm gonna go with the Cloak and Dagger. Now, if it was Cloak and Dagger was not high grade, it would definitely be Mega Man. It definitely be because it's more modern, and he Rand said they only 40 on the census, so
Yeah. No,
he said I might start selling some books on your channel. I gotta make room. Don't we all? Oh, he
so
said he missed the first book.
all
He'll
right, so
say,
Brad, I'll show you the first book. So this is the first book that I showed. This it's a Dreamwave Mega Man foil. I forget. I think it's like I want to say it's like a 1 in 10 or maybe something like that. But it's just a hard to find book. But really cool one. So it's just like it's high grade. And it's just because I guess even low numbers on the census, only 40 of them. So just kind of just no. Would you slab this or wouldn't you?
Biggie said slab it. So he was. I guess he was talking about the ASM
Yeah,
book.
you're talking about
Yeah,
the
Murph said slab it before he even heard the details on the book. He said, "All right, this is I like this." He goes, "Slab the ASM, keep the Mega Man and Mylar with 4 or 5 boards." Golly, it'd be like a freaking weapon. Oh my god, boy, I like that answer, Da Vinci. Oh, shout out to Someday Da Vinci because he won the last giveaway. I think yeah, it was him. I'm making sure I wrote it. He won the last giveaway. So shout out to Someday Da Vinci. Let's see. Let's see what they're saying. Take time. It said, is this for resale or just well
So for me, so here's the tough part with that question. So initially it would be for PC, but you know, I mean, as far as it being a rare book like that, yeah, I would say if if it came back high enough grade and the write off it came along, I would probably pot with it. It just, but initially it's for that PC just because Mega Man is when I was a little kid, so I was just like I used to love playing the Mega Man video games, so I was just excited to say I had it, but it's definitely something where
I tell you like this. I would probably for me I'll keep the I'm like you. I played Mega Man growing up, but Cloak and Dagger would be the one I would definitely keep. Especially
oh
if it
yeah, I
came back
mean
like say if it came back 9.4 or 9.6 or even higher. I'm keeping the the Cloak and Dagger unless I sell it to upgrade. But that's the only
yeah,
way I would get rid of that one. The Mega Man I would probably show off and keep for a little while, and then when I
yeah,
have something, have one of those books on your list that you're like, all right, somebody got it. All right, let me can I buy that book, but let me pay you in 3 weeks, and that give you time to sell the Mega Man. That's how I look at it. That's how I would do it. But I would keep
yeah,
it until I know I can, I'm ready to move it. You know what I mean? It's one of
yeah.
those things. So that's just
Because
that's how
it is a fun book to have just because it's like, oh, you got this really cool just rare book that is just like, oh, like like, oh, I've never seen this before, you know what I mean? Because that's one of the things I think is fun, especially with like those rare books that like you don't see that often. People are like, oh, I've never seen that before, and it's just like,
man, look,
that's a conversation
I'm about to end the
so
poll. I'm about to
it's
end the
just a fun
poll.
one to have. But
I'm
I
about to
mean,
end the
in the end
poll.
though, it's like, all right, well, this will get me, let's say, 3/4 of the way to getting, high grade of on just a book in the wheelhouse that's like, let's say it would get me like halfway or 3/4 of the way to a Tomb of Dracula 10. It's just like, well, I mean, at that point, it's just like, especially if it's 3/4 of the way, yeah, I might have to go ahead and move that, and just because I would rather have Blade than that, but just fun to say you have
I'll
it.
tell you, you had 0 no's. You only had 7 votes, but you had 0 no's, and 80% was yes.
Yeah, so that's cool. That's really cool.
So yeah, so I appreciate it. We'll fine tune it. I will get better at the polls, and I think it's pretty cool. Like you said, try to pick one book each and do like that. T-Time said, based on the census, if you think it's a 90 candidate, I vote for the Mega. Oh, and people been looking up the census. They pull up census on that book, man.
Yeah, see, and then the question's asked like, "Oh, what you think about partner?" And all of a sudden, watch the DM start coming in like, "Hey, man, if you're gonna grade that,
Yeah, he would part for the first appearance of Blade. You're correct.
yeah,
So we got like 15 minutes left, and then it's gonna be over. But that's more than enough time to talk about Mandalorian because we only talked about episode 1, even though
yep,
episode 2 I think came out today.
yeah,
Um, so I'll probably watch it. I'll probably watch it after this, honestly. Um, so my initial thoughts overall, I'll just go overall first. Overall score. If you don't want to, after I do overall stuff, or
mhm,
I don't know, Chris might give it overall, but we might talk a little spoilers if you don't want to stay. Just like So overall, I would give it if I had to give it a grade, a CGC grade. I'd probably give the first episode a 9.6. It was good. It's like a
yeah,
very 9.6. I would say 9.6. If I had to give it a letter grade, it'd be like A minus. It's hard to give A pluses or 9.8s or 10 O's, whatever you want to call it for its shows, but it was very good. it
Yeah.
had me wanting more,
Oh yeah.
and I couldn't wait for. I wish put it like this. It had me wanting more, and if it would have all been dropped on one day, it would have been hard not to watch more than one episode. Like it
Yeah.
didn't
No.
drop all of the episodes, I'd have had to watch at least two or three, maybe the whole thing. Who knows? I've just been tired the
Yeah.
next day. But
No.
so it saved me from that.
The yeah, no, I agree with you. It was really good. The thing that was really kind of the thing that got me a lot was like when I looked and it was fine. Like so when the credits started rolling, I was just like, "That's it." And I look, I was like, 37-minute runtime. Wow, because I like it was just really good. So I mean, and I think that that might be kind of a smart move on their part, where it's just like, all right, the first episode is not, it's not going to be like an hour. It's just 37 minutes, just to kind of get your feet wet and be like, all right, here you go. Like we're into this, and then you're like, I gotta see next week. Because the first thing I did as soon as I hopped off of watching it was like look to see if they released 2 episodes. I was just like, well, where's the second one? Where is it? And I was just like, because the next thing I saw was it brought me back to like do you want to watch Book of Boba Fett? I'm like, no, I want to see episode 2. What the hell is it?
It asked me if I wanted to watch Andor. I was like, I already watched Andor. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
no,
it was really good. Like they normally do like maybe one or two episodes, like like 2 episodes. Like Andor, I think did 3 episodes, I think at once, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah,
Um, so they could have dropped two, people wouldn't have complained, obviously. But I didn't even realize you said the time, like 37
yeah,
minutes. I didn't even realize it was that short.
yeah. It
It
was
didn't it didn't feel short. It didn't feel long, but it didn't
no,
feel like, oh, that was just 30 minutes. It didn't feel like that.
yeah, no. To me, it was just one of those deals where it's just like it ended when it was starting. It ended after it was getting really, really good. So it was just like, oh, there's got to be more. And then all of a sudden, it's like, it's over. I think that's Disney being. I think Disney does that now. Well, I hope. I don't even know if I say hopefully they do it like this, but like in a way, I think it's them kind of learning and knowing if it's a first season of a new show, yeah, we'll give you 2 episodes just to get you into it. The second season, we'll cut it down to just that first episode to kind of get you interested, bring you back in and not overwhelm you. Because I think that's what sometimes happens is that if you
Mhm.
have 2 or 3 episodes at once, it's like, oh, like people get overwhelmed and this like so this way
And
it's just like, well, now you're on a cliffhanger, you want to know what's going to happen next.
and not just that, Andor, it made sense if you know if you follow the timeline for Andor, if anybody watched that, the show actually happened like in 3 parts. So they actually dropped like the whole part 1 of the whole show, like
Mhm.
because they knew if they only dropped 1 episode, people were like, man, this is boring, or this is blah blah blah, But they got 3, and it made you want it more. So that's why they did that. Mando, you don't really have to have that. You they brought back characters early. I'll say that. And I'll try not to spoil too much, but it's gonna get spoiled a little if you haven't seen episode 1. But they brought back characters that I didn't expect to be already shown in episode 1.
Yep.
The trailer when they showed what's his name? Oh man, I can't even think. I know it's him and Rocky.
Carl Weathers.
Apollo. Yeah, Carl Weathers. When he came, I was like, okay, yeah, when they showed this in the trailer, I thought, maybe I thought they were just teasing something that was gonna be in like maybe episode 2 or something. But no, it was
Yeah.
like, here it is, episode 1. And I was like, all right. And what else they did that they used their subtle jokes. They used jokes in Mando, and they didn't overdo it like some Marvel shows do.
Yeah.
Like Grogu was spinning the chair. That could have been annoying, like on other shows, or when he was trying to keep the little guy who was fixing the droid. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
certain things, it was like, all right, that's funny, and
Yeah.
they didn't overdo it. So they did very well on the kind of slipping in the laughter, because I did laugh at both of those.
Yeah. When he was messing with the little guy, and he's like, he's
Yeah.
not a pet. Leave him alone.
What he says, yeah, I think they did that because they had the first episode on TV to get. Oh yeah. But yeah,
Yeah.
like yeah, so like, but if you to go a little deeper into it, Grogu, they made him it made him not as babyfied as maybe
Yeah.
the first season. This is the third season. he's still a child,
Yep.
but he's more of like an adolescent child. Like first episode, he was like a baby. That's what it felt like.
Yep.
This one, he's walking around more, uh, interacting with things more. Not afraid as much like in the first season. So
Yeah.
that was nice to see. I don't know what you thought about some of the other stuff like that.
Yeah, no, he was definitely, he seemed older. He was. The thing that I'm kind of waiting for is for him to actually start talking to see like what because and I don't know when they're gonna have him actually talk or if they ever will, but he had it was a good mix. Like you saw him being older and more adolescent, but then when they did that jump to hyperspace and he could see the figures while they were jumping. He got scared like a little kid would, and he went up and kind of hung out in the cockpit with Mando because he's like knows that, oh, I'm scared, I'm gonna go, so he's still a kid. He's not like you said, he's not grown, but like he's older than when we first met him, so that's pretty cool. And then just overall, um it's kind of weird with him just because like it's like they haven't explored. I mean, obviously they're not giving you too much of his development or anything like that. So it's just kind of like he's a little bit slow moving. Whereas Mandalorian, you've seen a lot of different stuff happen with him. But I think that overall, their dynamic is good. Like how you have that kind of I guess adoptive. It's kind of like an adopted scenario where it's just like Grogu is his adopted son, pretty much, and and then you have the adopted parent type situation too. So it's pretty cool to see how they're exploring that and how these two characters that literally have no connection to each other, other than just a chance random encounter that brought them together. It's like how they're now pretty much surrogate family to each other.
Yeah. What's up, Comic Journeys in the house? What's up, man? Yeah, we ready. We ready for the hunt. It's gonna be a fun show. But
Yep.
um, so we got like 7 minutes left. Uh, I'm gonna pose this question to you and to the chat. I'm gonna answer it, but I want to. But the question the chat can answer, you can answer. Uh, I had somebody thought is somebody told me is like, do you think the background for Grogu, as far as who saved Grogu from the temple, what Jedi did it, would be revealed? My
Um,
initial answer for episode three, season three, is yes. They're going to reveal who the Jedi was that saved him from the temple. Um, will I say who I think the Jedi is? No, I'm not going to say because I might be right. But I do think they're going to reveal the Jedi that saved Grogu from the temple when all the younglings were getting murdered. Um, but yeah, I think that. I don't know if the chat. What do you chat things about it? Would you think they're going to reveal the Jedi that saved them? Because they already played on this. Like I think what season two? They kind of touched on it.
yeah, I mean, I think they would. I mean, because it just the thing that I'm kind of, I mean, so I think they would, just because if it's a character that's going to have a strong callback to Star Wars and getting people into seeing the show, yeah, they'll definitely bring them out. It's just the question then becomes, though, just because he Grogu pretty much you know moved away to from the Jedi life to be with the Mandalorian. So it's like the question of relevancy kind of pops up there too, because it's like, what does it even really matter? Just because he's not gonna be, or according to what's happened, he's not gonna be a Jedi because he walked away from it, and you don't know how strict Luke is gonna be about that. But it seems like he was like, if you leave, that's it. But you gotta also remember when Yoda said the same thing to Luke. He's like, if you leave, you can't complete your training. So don't leave. And he's just like, no, I gotta save my friends. I'll be back. So, you know, um, I think that I think they'll do it. Just if it's something that, again, if it's something that's gonna bring the old school fans in, just because even if you didn't see it, initially, once it hits the internet, like, oh my god, this guy came back, or this one came back, people are like, oh, I gotta watch it now. So that I
Yeah,
think they'll reveal it.
yeah. Yeah, I think they ultimately go. I don't think anybody's guessed the ideas. I'm thinking in the chat. It's not going to be Obi-Wan. I don't know if Biggie said Anakin. Well, he's saying he's just saying Anakin. Jabba the Hutt definitely is not going to be Jabba the Hutt. You can't have that many
Yeah,
guesses, Journey. But uh, I'll say some of the ideas I'm thinking about because it's in the same timeline. I'm thinking.
I think
Was it
Yoda's dead at
was
that
it
point.
Ezra?
So,
Was it Ezra? Ezra in that
oh,
time? No,
the kid from no, I think so actually.
he's a
Hold on.
Jedi, so that's what I'm wondering.
Yeah,
I
I think
know
so.
Ahsoka, Ezra, and they're all in that kind of
Yeah,
timeline.
yeah. Yoda. It
I'm
won't be
thinking,
Yoda because Yoda is dead at that point.
yeah, and it's not
He
gonna
faded
be
away.
Obi-Wan because he was.
He was dead.
Yeah, I would say yeah, he was. No, he wouldn't. No, Obi-Wan wasn't dead. He
Yes, he
because
was.
this. Wait,
Because
when
it
they.
takes place after. So Mandalorian is after Return of the Jedi and everything.
Oh, okay, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
he's
yeah,
been
yeah,
long
yeah,
dead.
yeah, yeah. So he's yeah. So I don't think they're gonna do Luke.
No, because they already
No.
showed Luke.
Yeah, yeah. So and yeah. So and he didn't say he saved him when he was young. So
Yeah,
it might be. I'm thinking Ezra. I don't know about Ahsoka Tano and all that stuff, but they're kind of overlaying all these kind of shows together, almost like with Marvel. So it could be one of those two characters, or it could be not a Jedi. It could be uh, I'm trying to think of. Oh man, it could be a Mandalorian, and that's how he got
yeah,
like the Mandalorian. You know what I mean? So it could be
yeah,
one of a few things we won't know, but I think it's going to be in the realm of the characters that we're kind of seeing. Um,
yeah.
so that's just my thoughts. I don't
Yep.
know. I think it's going to be good overall. The
Yeah.
show.
No, me.
I'm excited for the next episode, and
Yep.
like I said, I'll probably watch it tonight, as long as it's not like 40 minutes or 50 minutes.
Yeah. Oh,
But
I'll say one more thing about the show that was pretty good. Like if you didn't see it, I mean, if you didn't see it, then wow, too bad. We say you're gonna spoil some things, but there's a great fake out in the episode, and
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's basically the best scene of the whole show.
Oh, we already said we were spoil it. You can say what it
Yeah.
is. I mean, yeah, it's
So it's basically like you see the Mandalorians and they're having this ceremony and all this, and so like the way they set it up, it seems like it's a flashback, but it's not. And so you know they basically show you like the I guess
the
initiation
armor.
ceremony for a
Yeah,
Mandalorian, for a young
yeah.
Mandalorian that become an actual part of the tribe or whatever, and then this big alligator pops out, and it's just really awesome watching them all work together to fight it. And but yeah, it's like the way they set it up. It was a great fake out just because it almost looks like like so it's a flashback to Mando's origin. Like,
Mandalore. Yeah, to
yeah,
Mandalore.
yep. But alas, it
It
was
definitely
not.
was
But it was
not.
pretty
It was
cool.
not. And like the armorer was there. Like I said, they brought
Yep.
back a lot of the characters like that and you like from in one episode. And he did all that and saved all the Mandalorians, and she still made him go on a quest. Yeah. So that I thought was kind of like, dang, that's messed up, man. He just saved
Yeah.
all of y'all. But yeah, yeah. So that fake out, and then the end of that conversation was like, I was like, that's messed up.
Yeah.
And then to find out too, because you find out in the episode, you don't see it. He still has the dark saber,
Yep.
but as I don't think she still doesn't fully know how to use it. If
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken. Like he tried to learn, and I think some all kind of stuff happened in season 2, and I don't remember him. I don't remember him fully learning it. So, but he still has it. So we'll see what happens with that, and yeah, if he's going to take over Mandalore. So, uh, before we go, man, I want to shout out the chat. Comic Journey for coming through. Someday Da Vinci, a channel member. Take the Time Collection with Brian. Appreciate you guys. Biggie Shaq said, "Hey, might be a droid. You could Biggie might be
It could
right.
be.
It might be right." And we had Liz in here earlier. We had some what Punch Hawaiian Punch.
Yep.
He Who Remains, another channel member. So appreciate you guys
Yep.
coming through.
Bruce
Chef
Zayas.
was in there. Bruce Zayas, old OG.
Yeah.
OG Bruce Zayas. We had Candyman for his cards.
Yep.
Appreciate
Out
you
the
stopping through, Al. Kenneth Bird was in the
K-pop.
house. K-pop. Who else? Man? Oh, Amazing Murphinator, who answered the
That's right.
question before he found a condition of a book. And, and if I missed you, I apologize. Oh, Knights of Old too. Knights of Old came through and popped up and
Yep.
said had left a comment. So, and
And
actually a
Cali
really good
Comics.
comment. And he left a really good comment, so I had to put it highlighted again. So that was probably like, really.
Yep.
And Cali
Cali
Comics came. Yeah. So,
Wolverado.
Craig said he wasn't here, so shout out to Craig, even though he wasn't here. But please
Ben
thumbs it
Compton.
up, thumbs it up.
Yep.
So,
Captain Comics. J Hood.
all you guys, man, I do appreciate you guys. Like I said, leave some comments, let us know. I'll try to work on the polls better for the slabs and not the slab. That's like my first time doing polls.
Yeah.
And do it again next time. Maybe next time we'll talk about CBCS and their craziness.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know who else, but what I got going on, I have an auction tomorrow with Soul Twice and Geeky Dad. Geeky Dad and Soul Twice are having an auction. I'll be joining them for a couple of rounds. I shared some of the slabs that I pulled out to sell. If you are interested in anything or want to see some pictures, just hit me up, man. I'll shoot you the pictures so you can see it better. I got some really, really, well, I wouldn't say big books, but it's some really good keys. Some of them are minor keys, like Punch would say. Some of them are only like one or two are like actually pricey. So I'll be on that auction Thursday. Friday we have the hunt that I'll be on, challenging the perfect one. That's what he calls himself, but he's gonna get the perfect butt whooping. Nate. And Sunday, Sands is auction. That's the last thing I'll be on for the rest of this week and the weekend. So check those out. And on to Chris. What you got? What's going on?
Well, I'm gonna be on the hunt on Friday. Dan Scheista decided to challenge me for the cover championship, so I gotta thank him for the opportunity to go and be in the cover title match. I don't have anything quite happening on my channel. I've just been kind of doing this and then just posting different things to Instagram, with with this show. But I will end up having some more stuff as we go forward. I'm just kind of just looking for some books to come in, and then also just getting ready for the King Con show that's going to be down in New Jersey on the 25th, I think it is 25th and 26th of March. So basically 16 days.
It's towards the end of the month. Yeah,
or 18 days, I think. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
definitely. If you see him at King Con, definitely shout him out. Come hit him up.
Yeah. It's gonna be a great time. So I'm looking forward to that. But while that's happening, I'm just trying to kind of save some money up so that when I go down there, I can have a good time and just hopefully come back with some really good stuff.
Yep. Oh, I will have a CGC unboxing, but I'm gonna do a recording for it, so it won't be a live. So if you want to see that video, it will probably come out after the hunt. So I'll have a CGC unboxing or video popping up like this weekend, probably Saturday. I'll just wait to drop it Saturday. But and before you guys leave, Biggie, I think you're a mod. If you want to share Sands's
Link.
YouTube and link and stuff, you can pop it in the chat. Go check out Sands. I think they're going to be live for at least another 30 minutes. And that's all I can say, man. Definitely support everybody, man. I'm going to probably go over there and watch what they got going on while I'm or maybe might watch The Mandalorian. Sorry, Sans. So I'll see you guys on the next video, man. I appreciate everybody, and peace out, man. That's all I can say. Peace.